Good morning, my dear friends. I am Rehan Mukherjee and I am going to eating my breakfast cornflakes. I will show you my nature study. Okay? Okay. I am going to eating my breakfast cornflakes and study nature. Okay? Okay. Look, my dear friends, this is my breakfast cornflakes. I am eating cornflakes daily and I will show you some nature. Look, my dear friends, this is my nature. Look, my dear friends, this is my breakfast cornflakes. I am eating cornflakes daily. I will make after eating. I will okay. Okay. I will make after eating. Look, my dear friends, I am complete my breakfast cornflakes and I am going to doing my another study. I will make after doing my study. I will show you my reading chapters and writing handwriting after doing. Okay friends, I will make after doing my study. Okay, I will show you. Okay. Look, my dear friends, I am complete my study. Look, I am complete my study. Look, I am reading this. Look, this I have done my study. Look. Look, this is my study. Look, this is my writing. Look, this is my Look, my dear friends, this is my study. Okay, friends, I will show you my Shiv Puja. Look, my dear friends, today was very raining. Look, this is my rain. Look, today was not going to Shiv Puja. I will meet in my lunch. I will show you my lunch. Okay. Look, there is very rain weather. Good afternoon, my dear friends. I am Rehan Mukherjee. I will show you some nature. Look, this is my afternoon lunch. Look, this is my outside nature. Look, this is my God room. Look. Oh, my dear friends, this is my lunch. I am eating dal rice and I will make after eating. Okay. Look, my dear friends, I am complete my lunch and I am going to take in some rest. I will wait in my study. Okay, I will show you my reading and writing after doing with my teacher. Okay, okay, I am going to taking some rest. Look, my dear friends, I am Rehan Mukherjee. I am going to doing my study. This is my grandmother. My teacher is calm in my mezzanine. I will show you my signature. Look. Look, this is my target wardrobe. Look. Look, I am going to mezzanine. My teacher is come in my house. My teacher is sitting in mezzanine. I am going to mezzanine. Look, my dear friends, this is my mezzanine. Look, this is outside nature. Look, this is my grandmother, my teacher in my mezzanine. Look, this is my mezzanine. And look, this is my outside nature. Look, this is my teacher. Look, this is my teacher. And look, this is my study. And I will meet after doing my study. Okay, my dear friends, I will show you my reading chapters and writing handwriting after doing. Okay, okay. I will meet after doing my study. Look, my dear friends, I have completed my study. Look, this is my study. This is my reading. This is my reading. So this is my writing. So this is my writing. So this is my reading. And look, this is my writing. And look, this is my writing. Okay, okay, my dear friends. Okay. Look, my dear friends, I am complete my study, and I am going to take my yoga class, my life class. I will meet after doing my yoga class. My teacher is going his house, and I am going to taking some rest. I will meet in my yoga class, my Bengali class. Okay. Good evening, my dear friends. I am Rehan Mukherjee, and I am going to doing my Bengali study. I am in my AC room. Look, this is my Bengali study, and I will meet after doing my Bengali. I will show you my Bengali writing. After doing my Bengali writing, I will show you my Bengali writing and hearing reading. Okay? 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 Okay. I will meet after doing. I am writing Maka Maharaj Kumar Kadir Kumar. Look, this is my writing. Laka lala selera digulila selura digulura riri. Laka lela lela kalola olo. Ta ka ta se tita diga tita se tuta diga tuta ri tita ka tita ri ta ka ta auto ta ka ta se ti ta diga tita se tuta diga tuta ri tita ka tita ri tita ka ta auto da ka da se tita diga tuta ri Okay, my dear parents, I am complete my Bengali study. I will meet after doing my live class. Look, my dear parents, I am complete my yoga class and I am going to eating my dinner. I will meet in my dinner. I will show you my dinner and nature. Okay, okay, okay. Good. Look, my dear friends, I am eating roti chicken sweet and I am seeing some nature. Okay. Look, this is my room. Look, my dear parents, this is my dinner. I am eating. Okay, I will meet tomorrow. Okay. Good night. Tata. Bye bye.